The cost of living crisis is on track to decide the result of the next election, with the majority of people across Britain now concerned about how they will pay for their heating, their food and their homes, exclusive polling reveals. Senior Conservatives are pushing for radical measures to protect people from the coming hurricane, warning that they will face punishment at the polls if they fail to take action. The research by Redfield and Wilton Strategies found 9 out of 10 people are concerned about how they will afford our heating and food as living costs rise. Six out of 10, 59%, say the economy and the cost of living would determine how they would vote if there was a general election tomorrow. The issue ranks far above the NHS and healthcare, 21%, the war in Ukraine and foreign policy, 5%, and the environment and climate change, 4%. Robert Halfon, the chairman of the Education Select Committee, said, "The polling shows that people know that a hurricane is coming. The question is whether they are going to be sheltered from the storm." Former Conservative leader Sir Ian Duncan Smith wants benefits to be immediately uprated in line with inflation and called for green levies on energy bills to be scrapped and funded out of general taxation. He makes the case in a new report for the Centre for Social Justice, stating, "These add needlessly to the cost of energy, piling unnecessary taxes on top of the rising price of electricity and gas." Former Work and Pensions Secretary Esther McVey pushed for tax cuts. She said, "This poll confirms what we all know, that the public are hugely concerned about the cost of living and how they are going to be able to pay their bills for even the basics, and also that the government is not yet doing enough to support people through this incredibly tough time." We need to cut taxes and fast. If we are not going to cut taxes during a cost of living crisis, then when on earth are we going to do so? If we don't step up now with more support, I fear the public will punish us at the next general election. Conservative MP Miriam Cates called on the Chancellor to reduce taxes for families with children. She said, "When you look at other countries you can see how unfair our tax system is for families. If you earn a wage of £50,000 then the Treasury thinks you are very well off, putting you in a higher tax bracket and taking away your child benefit." But actually, if that salary has to feed, clothe and heat 4 people, and you are the only earner, you can really struggle. The tax system takes no account of how many people an income is supporting. Tory Marcus Fish urged the Chancellor to cut VAT across the board to reduce prices, saying, "Unless we take radical fiscal measures to reduce prices now, in a bill next week or the week after, I am afraid that it will be too late and we will be tipped into severe recession later this year." Their calls come as a Resolution Foundation report warns that the cost of living gap between the richest and poorest households is bigger than at any point since records began in 2006. It found that headline inflation for the poorest tenth of households has now hit 10.2%, compared with the 8.7% rate experienced by the richest tenth of households. Stephen Crabb, a former Work and Pensions Secretary said, "Make no mistake, this issue is going to dominate our politics right through to the next election. Unless the government comes up with a clear plan for helping families and pensioners get through this storm, we risk a huge backlash from voters." "45% are significantly concerned about paying for their heating, while 30% are fairly concerned and 16% are slightly concerned." When it came to paying for food, 39% are significantly concerned, 31% are fairly concerned and 19% were slightly concerned. And 33% are significantly concerned about affording their rent or mortgage, with 22% significantly concerned and 16% slightly concerned. Caroline Abrahams of Age UK pushed for action, saying, "Ministers should agree to raise the value of the state pension and benefits to match the rate of inflation this year, as well as, in the case of older people, fully implementing the triple lock once again next year." Asmina Sadiq of the Children's Society said the charity had heard of children losing sleep, worried about bailiffs knocking at their doors because they've not had the money to keep up with payments, and their families being evicted. It wants free school meals provided to all children whose families receive universal credit, arguing this would ensure another 1.5 million children would have a decent meal every school day.